Well, the time has come, ladies and gentlemen. It is the end of season 1 of the Why Not Me podcast with me, Mike Jackson. And it's been a hell of a journey for me, an incredible experience. We've done 35 episodes. That is unbelievable. And I'm so proud of the work we've done. I'm so happy that so many of my friends said yes and gave us these incredible conversations and incredible insights to their journey. I hope they can serve as inspiration to some of you who are on similar paths. Even if you're not on a path through the entertainment grind, I hope that their journey still inspired you in whatever it is you're doing. In the meantime, you can find the podcast anywhere the podcasts are available. You can also follow us on our YouTube channel, Why Not Me with Mike Jackson, as well as our Instagram page at Why Not Me with Mike Jackson. So thank you all so much for your time and your patience with us as we built this thing and grew it. And I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing for season 2. Peace. Welcome to this episode of Why Not Me with Mike Jackson. Today's guest is Tika Sumpter. You may know her from Gossip Girl or The Have and Have Nots or the Sonic franchise. She is incredibly gifted, incredibly smart. She has a tenacious style about how she gets things done. She's going to talk to us about her journey as an actor, her journey as a director and a producer, and all the things that lie ahead. I really hope you enjoy this episode. Why Not Me with Mike Jackson coming up next. Let's go. Welcome to the next episode of Why Not Me with Mike Jackson. My guest today is, well, you already know who she is, Tika Sumpter, my homegirl, little sis. We've worked together, we've developed together, we've partied together, we've been around the world together. We've seen concerts together. You get it. She's my friend. Yeah. And I'm excited to have you on the show. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations. I'm excited to be here.
Well, this is awesome. So let's jump in. June 20th.
Yeah.
I've been saying the year.
Yeah.
1980.
There we go.
Euphemia Latika Sumpter.
Latique.
See, I knew it was Latique. But then I was like, where'd Tika come from? So I was like trying to make the Q, U-E, something different.
Very different. It's a very long name.
The phonetics in me, the English major in me said that. And then I flipped it.
It's okay. It's okay.
Euphemia Latique Sumpter.
Yeah.
Not an only child?
No, I am one of...
I know.
I'm one of 7.
Yes.
And that's a very heavy, long name for a once 7-year-old.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I'm one of 7 and come from a very big family.
So tell me a little about your family dynamic. You were born in Queens.
I was born in Queens.
You're one of 7, but how do you rank?
I'm like the middle, so I hold up the whole world.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I have 2 older sisters and an older brother, then me, and then I have 2 younger brothers, and then a younger sister. So I'm right in the middle.
And are your siblings spread out as far as like where they live? Are they all more New York based, North Carolina based?
Yeah, between California and Virginia. We're all spread out everywhere.
Why did I say North Carolina? Is there?
Because my mom used to live there.
Okay.
And my grandma's from there. I have a lot of like Southern North Carolina roots.
Okay. And tell me about your parents, like names, like what they did for work when you were growing up.
My mom, her name is Janice, and she was a single mom for a very long time. And my dad passed away when I was 12, 13 years old. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom for a very long time. And that was her dream, to be a mom and to be an opera singer. But she didn't know she could do both. She got like accepted into like the Lincoln Center Academy at one point.
Oh my God.
But she was like, at that time, she didn't know I can have kids, but I can also do this thing. And then my dad was in the military and then got out, was kind of from like a very dysfunctional home, and they got married very young. They got married in like 19, bought a house together, which was very rare during that time.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah, and it's so weird. I thought it was such a big house, and then you look back on Zillow and you're like, that's where we lived.
You're like, 800 square feet? Yeah. That's an apartment.
It felt huge. It felt like, oh my God.
And there was a lot of y'all in there.
And there's a lot of us in there. And it's very tiny. And so I kind of grew up from I was born in Queens, raised in Long Island. So I moved to Long Island when I was like 10 years old.
Okay. And then tell me about like school. Like, I mean, you went to Longwood Senior High.
Yeah.
Was that like arts focus or just a traditional public school? Like, tell me what that experience was like.
Yeah. So when I moved to Long Island, I went into the Longwood school system, and they have like a middle school, elementary, middle school, junior high, and then high school. Yeah, it was a very mixed school. It wasn't, no, there was performing arts in there, but it wasn't like, this is a performing arts school.
Diverse?
Huh?
By mix, like a lot of like black folks, white folks.
White people.
So you never felt out of place as a black
Never.
girl there?
Never. I was the girl who said hi to... I said hi. I was friends with everybody.
I can see that. Including
like people who I didn't know probably. It's weird. I saw certain guys like change as life went on.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being like, I would see them, become other people, like people who have shaved their heads, like skinheads, like at a certain point.
That.
And I'd be like, hey, Jared. And he'd be like, hi, Tika. Like,
he's like, my boys don't think we should be talking.
Yeah, but they've known me for so long. So it was like, oh God, hi, Tika, and I was like, hey, everybody. Like, I was that girl, the emo kids. I'd be like, hey, I was like the first black cheerleader in my school. So I was kind of like, I don't know, a pretty joyful
You just bring so much light. Even the skinhead going to the rally is like showing you love, basically. You just lit up his room, so he's like, nah, it's Tika.
I've known you forever.
She's not like the rest of them.
Well, also, it's like that was so new for that. Like, it was like that wasn't who they were. And to see them, change into this other person was weird.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And then, so you found performing arts then?
No, I didn't. I was kind of, in high school, I would go to Manhattan. I would take the Long Island Railroad, and I like found these classes in New York, and I would take them on the weekends. And I used to work at a movie theater.
Oh, cool.
I didn't know how the whole thing would work out. I didn't know what to do. So I was just taking classes. The kids at my school who were in performing arts, who were theater kids, were very theatery. And I wasn't, it's like, I was not that like, but then I also wasn't like, I also was like, I want to do something in this world, but I'm not sure where I'm at yet. And love the kid. They were my friends, some of them, but I didn't understand that because nobody's ever made it. I've never seen it. Never seen it in front of me. Like, I didn't go to the theater until, out of high school.
Got it. So Marymount Manhattan College, just keeping it real, staying in the city.
Yeah.
Why there?
Because I was very foolish, and because I didn't realize I didn't apply to many colleges, to be honest. I kind of didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't have much direction. Like, by the time I was like in high school, I'm like, oh, I need to apply to go somewhere, like go to college. And I was like already going to New York City, and I was already kind of, in that world of going to classes and things like that. So I'm like, oh, I didn't realize it was a performing arts school, but I was like, I'm going to study communications, and I'm going to become a publicist. And then I'm going to try to slip in and become an actor somehow. Because still I didn't.
But that was the original dream, to be a PR person?
The original dream, no, it was to be an actor, but I was scared. I came from a place of like, girl, you better get a job.
You better get a job and pay your bills.
And you better have a 401k, and you better have, you know what I mean? All those things.
Especially going in a black house. It's like you have to like.
And you don't see, it's not reachable. You don't see people making it. And first of all, nobody's trying to do that. So you don't even see it happening. So you just go there like, okay, you trick your mind saying, I'm going to go do this thing. But really what you want to do is the other thing.
The other thing. Can I ask you this? Like, even in that moment, like realizing like, I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah.
Were there still people that looked like you that you were seeing on screen that you like admired at that point in your life?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would watch The Cosby Show growing up. And then I watched, Moesha. I mean, I grew up on all those kinds of shows. Like, I'm like, wow, that is so cool. I mean, but you still don't know the path. Like, it's not like now where you're like, oh, I can follow this person and kind of see where to go and how to do it and, connect in a linear way. There's somebody in my camp who's doing this. It's like, that wasn't then.
It wasn't a thing.
It wasn't a thing. So you really had to baby step it. Like here's one step. Might work, might not work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I even when I was in school, I was still like, let me look at backstage. What's this open call? my hair doesn't necessarily match what they're saying, but I'm going to go knock on doors, you know?
Just let it play out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's smart. So in New York, college, doing the thing.
Yeah.
And you start to model, right? That was the next kind of step.
Yeah, I was modeling. I always say, I don't know about modeling. I know it's very open in the sense of like, when I think of modeling, I think of like, when I watched like Naomi Campbell.
Whoa. You don't, Hewlett Packard isn't modeling?
I mean, yeah, that's my modeling. Kmart, like my mom stole Kmart.
I'm saying, that's, you know.
I still have them actually.
Oh, we need those for this episode.
Yeah. I'll get you pictures of them. I like was in Kmart, like on the, the posters, like,
Hey girl, hey.
Yeah. When I think of like modeling, I think of like George Michael Freedom Video.
Right. But they still paid.
They still paid. And
right.
it was one of like the first jobs that I've done. And so I kept kind of doing stuff like that. So I knew there was something about me that worked, but I was still trying to just get in any way I could.
And was that the only form of income at that point? Or were you doing waitressing or other things?
Yes, I was waitressing. I worked everywhere. I worked at
didn't you work at like a really cool hip club type thing?
Oh my God, I worked at this club called Life.
Yes.
And
like a Noel Ashman party or something like
that. His name was Steve Lewis. He ran all the doors in New York. He like put together all the clubs, and I was underage when I first went, and he's like, if you touch one drink, you'll never be invited back here. You'll never get in any club ever again. And I'm like, and then I went, and then there was like the club in the front, but it was like the club in the back that you wanted to be at. It was almost like, I felt like right now, if I was to do a coming of age movie of a girl trying to make it, and the first real party she went to, you walk around and you're like, oh my God, that's Janet Jackson right there. That's this guy who's a rapper, for the first time rapper coming in and doing this thing. And it was this guy named Eminem.
Right.
And you're like, you're just seeing everybody kind of like just dancing and having a good time. And you're just this young person like, I'm from Long Island.
It's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world. Yeah, like literally, it was a whole new world. And I was just like, what is this? So yeah, it was good and it was fun, but I didn't get caught up in anything crazy.
Okay. So you're doing that, you're grinding, trying to figure it out. First gig. Tell me about like acting gig.
First acting gig. Well, to be super honest, that guy who let me into that club, he was like, Tika, I actually ended up starting to work there. And he's like, what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, I want to act. He's like, do you have an agent? And I'm like, no. He introduced me to my first agent. Okay. And it was this Jersey girl agent. Her name was Rita. And she was like, I love her. He was like, come meet me at this place at this time. And I'm going to introduce you to an agent that I know. And I met her, and she's like, oh my God, you're beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like
smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, she's like, I love her. I love her. And so that was my first agent. And yeah, I started from there and continued to, Wait, what was your original question though?
I was curious what you would consider your first.
My first real job?
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I started doing voiceovers for CoverGirl. I did the one with Rihanna when she first had the CoverGirl contract.
Wow.
The eyes have it. And then I started doing commercials for perfumes with other people. Like I started working.
But now you're making a living.
I'm making a living, but I'm not quitting my jobs yet.
That's smart.
You know what
Shanola
I mean?
said that to me too. She's like, she was always a waitress. And even after she booked Shameless.
Oh, wow.
She still went to her waitressing job.
Oh, wow.
Because she was like, I don't know if this is going to go more than one season. And she was like, I was making real money at the restaurant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, in New York, you could make real money. So
I think it was out here.
Oh, in LA.
It was in LA, but still, like
but
the
New
idea
York,
of
you
like.
could make real money too.
Oh, for sure. Especially if you're at those spots.
If you're at those spots, you can make real money. But also, for me, my first real job when I didn't have to work anymore was One Life to Live.
Yes, and I was about to get to
Sorry.
that. No. I asked you the question. I thought that's what it was, but I wasn't sure. It's hack research I'm doing over here, so I wasn't sure if I maybe missed a couple things before then.
No.
But that's a big deal. It's daytime TV. It's a steady gig. You're a series regular. Tell me about One Life to Live and just like how did you get that gig and just like the experience around that.
It's so crazy.
Layla Williamson.
Williamson.
Okay.
Renee Goldsberry, who won she won the Tony for Hamilton.
We're doing a show with Renee.
Oh, you are?
We're developing a show. Yeah.
She played my sister.
Wow.
We played sisters, the Williamson sisters, and I got to work with so many. So I remember auditioning for that, and I thought I didn't get it because they didn't call back for a while. Like I went to a callback, but then they didn't, there was nothing after that. It was like quiet. So I was working at a private club downtown. And
what's that club called?
Soho House.
That's what I was referencing before.
Yes.
Okay.
So you were right.
Was I right?
Life was like a club, like a dance club.
Okay.
Soho House, when it first opened, first of all, nobody knew what a private members club was.
Right.
The amount of people they turned down who I saw walk in there, I'm like, the girl, you know, she was from London. She's like, look, this is a private members club. You have to be a member. And when I saw certain people walk in, I said, you know, you ain't gonna let
You're like, that's Patrick Ewing. He's a former basketball player.
Yeah, but like there was just so many people who didn't get the concept. But yeah, it was the first time it opened, and I was still kind of like, you know, auditioning and doing all that. And then I like quit because I couldn't take it anymore because there was like a lot of entitled people.
I can't believe it. At a private club?
Who you are.
At a private club, entitlement? That's so weird.
It was so entitled.
Bizarre.
I saw so many things that I probably shouldn't have seen. But yeah, I worked there for a while and then I quit. I literally walked out. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
But you had the other gig. You had the rest.
No. I had no gig. I walked out of my job and I was like, I had a great boyfriend at the time.
Aha. Daddy saved the day.
But I was paying rent.
Shit.
But when
we're gonna have to find him.
But what he did say to me was, he was like, you are miserable and you're crying every day and I see you working really hard. Go do your thing for like, you have a few months to like go and like really go for it.
He's like, I got you right in this period of time.
That was the first time I've had anybody say, I got you. Like, go.
That's amazing.
It was amazing, but it only lasted a week because I got a phone call walking down the street, not even a week later after I quit, not even a week, not even days. I quit. They're like, you booked the One Life to Live gig.
Now, at that point, do you tell your boyfriend, you don't tell him anything, so you still get a few months free rent?
No. You
just kind of moonlight, you just go to work, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm in these streets looking... I'm looking for backstage. Backstage is telling me.
I know. No, I told him and he was like, oh my God, amazing. So not only was I able to even contribute more, but it was the first gig that I'd never had. After that gig, I never had to work another, job ever again.
How soon after that did you break up with the guy?
No, we still were together for like another few years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you really liked them.
I did.
Okay,
Of
cool.
course I did.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, good.
I am not a user and abuser.
You are not a user and abuser. I know this.
No.
So you get nominated for an
NAACP
Image Award.
Yeah.
So you're getting recognition. That must feel pretty cool. Like, it's a quick transition from like beating the path, trying to get a job. Because like a year in, you're like getting acknowledgments, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess for me, I was so green, which meant like I didn't know left from right. I'm like, acknowledgement. What? Yeah. Oh, this is nice. Because I was so used to beating the pavement. You know, I was so used to like, like a hustler. I had a hustle mentality.
You still do, by the way.
Still do. And so I don't even acknowledge when good things are happening. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Okay, well, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
And I'm just now recently being able to acknowledge that,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was definitely like a big moment for you. And then after that, Stomp the Yard comes?
So after that, I'm like at the end of my contract. And I walked into One Life to Live knowing I didn't want to be there for years on end. Like I knew after my first 3-4 year contract, I was like, I need to get going because, you can get stuck in it,
Well, I'm going to let you finish, but a lot of actors in daytime say the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then end up back in daytime.
Yeah, because
so you're one of the rare examples of someone who like left it and didn't look back.
Yeah, I mean, I was young enough to know like these are the things that I wanted, and also young enough to take the risk of being able to do that and being like, I don't have kids, I don't have a mortgage, it's me.
I can do this.
I can do this. So during that time, by the end of my contract, that's when Stomp the Yard 2 came along, and then Gossip Girl came along.
That's when I found Tika Sumpter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't watch that show because I'm a guy.
A lot of guys watch it.
I'm too manly for that. But it was always on,
Yeah.
Because my mom watched it.
Yeah.
No, it was me.
It was you.
I was like, who's that pretty black girl in fucking Gossip Girl?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, it was No, it was Stomp the Yard, but then it was
Salt.
No, not Salt. Salt was like a tiny, tiny part, but it was great because I was like, oh my God, I get to talk to Angelina Jolie. But it was also Mara Braca Keel's The Game. And then it was
Wait, let me check my notes. You're right. It was The Game.
It was The Game.
You recurred on The Game?
I recurred on The Game.
For 2 seasons?
For, I think so. Don't quote me. Maybe 2 seasons.
Okay.
And then I went to Gossip Girl for an arc of like 7 episodes or something.
But game-changing. Because that show was so in the zeitgeist, right?
But I didn't know that because I never watched it before I auditioned for it, to be honest. I didn't even know. I was like... You
weren't like a Chase Crawford?
No. When I went in, and I think I was the last audition. I went in... I don't even know if it was written for...
I was about to ask you, was it written for a black girl?
I don't think so.
Because it was never about race for that girl.
It wasn't about race. Yeah. I just don't think they thought that. I think they were just like, come in and audition, and I went in and I knew I killed it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and I kind of was like, whatever. I didn't even think about it. And then they were like, you got it. And then when I got on it, I realized, oh my God, this is a show that's in the zeitgeist. Literally, fans are following us as we tape everything. And these people were like rock stars, and the people...
Were they welcoming to you?
They were. They were welcoming. They were, I think everybody's in their own world, and you walk in on other people's sets and you hope they'll be welcoming. The guys were amazing. I worked with mostly the guys anyway, so they were great.
You did this other movie where you played kind of an icon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think her name is Michelle.
Michelle Robinson?
Robinson.
Yeah.
You may know her as Obama.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Southside with You.
Yeah.
What makes me so excited about that movie for you and knowing you, not only because we were executive producers of the movie, Get Lifted, but you produced that movie.
Yeah.
And I know the backstory, but you had to go fight to get that script from Rich Tanny. And I believe that's the first time you actually produced, right?
Yeah.
So that's a real big Why Not Me moment for you.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, the desire, the passion to tell that story, but also the fortitude to go after it.
Well, the script wasn't written. It was an idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was already a script.
No, it was an idea. And he was in the middle. He told me, we met up and he told me about this idea. He's like, I would love for you to play Michelle. He told me the premise. And I was like, oh, this is really cool about their first date. And then he was like, yeah, but he was writing some other things for things that he was being paid to do. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, I'm not. And then I said, I want to get this made even if I can't play Michelle. Because we all know in this business, people will take the script and they'll be like, yeah, your name is not there yet. Right. Or we want somebody else to do it. And so I was like, even if I don't play her, I want to try to get this made. Didn't know how. Mm-hmm. So he went off and did his thing. He was working on other stuff. And I would call him every week. Hey, when are you? He's like, I have to do this. And finally he called me. He's like, I did it. And then it was done. And then I actually, because of working at Soho House, that's how I met Stuart Ford. I was actually dating his friend.
No shit.
At the time.
Was you paying your rent?
No, I was paying the rent. It was 3 days. 3 days. But it's crazy. That's you be nice to everybody anyway.
For sure.
Because you never know when it's going to come back around. But Stuart Ford helped finance it. And I brought it to him. And, it was in other people's hands and I knew that they weren't going to do it. And I was like, Stu, I need help. And were able to get it and bring you guys in and then make it. And so, yeah, I felt really proud. And I felt like, wait, this is what producing is, basically fighting.
Yeah, basically. Threats and follow through.
Basically, follow through and pulling things together. And I was like, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this.
You are really good at it.
Yeah, thank you.
Did the Have and Have-Nots come before or?
Have and Have-Nots was before that. That was over 10 years ago.
I was about to say it's a long run.
It was a long run.
Candace Young.
So
tell me about that and Tyler Perry. I'm assuming you shot in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Living in Wakanda. Just tell me about the whole experience because a lot of people are curious about that.
Yeah. I mean, I auditioned for Haves. Never worked with Tyler before, didn't know his pace, didn't know any of it. I was just like, this character is I don't know if anybody's gonna like her, but she's a little vindictive. She's all over the place.
Right.
And then this was the first show on OWN that they were doing that was scripted and a drama.
Oh, wow.
So it was a collaboration with Tyler and Oprah. And Tyler will tell you, because he makes fun of me all the time. He's like, you turned it down when we wanted you for it. And I was like, he was like, Oprah called you, I called you. And I was like, I know, I didn't know what I was getting into. And then I still said yes. He was like, yeah, but he always
Did you
makes
say yes to Oprah?
She called me and I was like, what? This can't be her.
You
and
like
it
hung
was
up the
her.
first time.
I didn't hang up, but I was like, just quiet. And she's like, look, I don't have to, I don't do this, but we'd love to have you and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, between her and Tyler, I was like, yes, okay, we're going to do it.
It's too much power.
So much power. But also I was like, okay, this could be the way he shoots, he shoots really fast.
Quick, yeah.
And the great thing about that show is what I was able to do is when I wanted to do other movies, he's like, how fast can you shoot this? You can go do it. I'll let you go. Most shows are not letting you out to go do ever.
It's prison.
They're not letting you out.
Paid prison, but
good prison.
Yeah,
good
prison.
It's like,
you still get a trailer.
If that's prison, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to find out.
Yeah, no. So he allowed me to go do Old Man and the Gun. I got to work with Robert Redford. He allowed me to
Stop. Robert Redford.
Yeah.
How was that?
Incredible. My daughter she was probably 2. No, she was younger than 2. And I brought her on set and Robert Redford is just quiet on set. He's reading his newspaper. He's like, I don't need the Hollywood stuff. I am Hollywood.
Right.
I
am the establishment.
I am, but also I did all this. I'm going to read my newspaper.
Right.
And as soon as my daughter came on set, he put his newspaper down. He was like,
can I say your daughter's name?
Yeah,
Ella.
Ella.
Yeah, Ella is very, very cute.
Thank you.
So I understand why Mr. Redford would hit
But it
pause
was like, it was so sweet. And
it was
so
genuine energy.
Genuine.
Yeah.
Like he didn't care about anybody else. It was the baby.
Yeah.
And I was just like.
How old is she now?
She's 8.
Fuck.
I know.
Too old for Jones. Maybe not. You never know.
When they get older.
When they get older. I mean, I got an age gap with mine.
Exactly. There you go.
She is adorable though.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to Have and Have Not, because you're the lead of the show, for 8 years, and that's your first time being number one.
Yes.
So there's a lot of pressure that goes with that too.
The crazy thing is you don't know the pressure because you've never been number one in your life, and you're like, oh, this is number one. Everybody's being super, super like, what do you need?
Right.
What my concern was always was my cast. Like I'm a person who takes care. Like I wanted to make sure they were taken care of. That's the one thing I knew that number one, number two, whatever. Like the cast, are they okay?
Right.
Like the people who aren't 1, 2, or 3.
Right.
Like I always was like, are they good? And that was my number one concern.
That's probably why you got married.
Right. To one of my co-stars.
Yeah. He was not 1, 2, or 3, but you took care of him. He's like, wow, she's so loving.
She's
and
so loving.
nurturing.
Yeah.
Let's date.
And it was me who first of all, was interested in him first. So he thought I was married and he's like, there's no way you're single. And I was like, well, there is.
There is, because I am.
And I am. And let's hang out. So yeah.
Romance love on set.
On set. I mean, where else do you meet your person? I mean, you're at work.
I mean, my girl's not in the business, so.
But was it from a party? From work?
I mean, if you want to get technical, maybe there's some entertainment people at a party that I was at prior.
There we go.
And she happened to be there.
There we go.
Fair enough. Touche, my friend. Touche. Touche. So now you're a producer. You've been number one on the call sheet. You've worked with Robert Redford. You were in a Zeitgeist TV show, Gossip Girl. And now you want to direct.
Yeah.
So you directed your first project.
Yeah.
Tell me about that experience. Another Why Not Me moment.
Yeah. Ty Randolph, who used to run Kevin Hart's company.
Yes. She's great.
She's great.
Yeah.
She has this program, and they were basically taking directors and first-time writers and putting them together Very small budgets, very succinct, but basically doing kind of a mentorship program with these writers. And, I always say actors are probably some of the best directors because they know all aspects of filmmaking.
For sure.
And also some of them are just really creative. And I feel like I'm one of those people. And I saw a script that they were like, hey, here's a script, it's called Night Out. And it's basically this first-time parents who get their first night off from their child.
Shit.
Yeah.
Can I star in that, please?
Exactly.
Can we do a part 2?
Exactly. And then it went to Sundance, and then it went on Peacock, and it's a short. It's a short, yeah. Yeah, but it was great. It was a great experience.
So I want to ask you a lot of fun questions in the end, but I always have been curious and wanted to ask people who've had this opportunity to work with this person, what it was like. Chadwick. Talk about working with Chad in the James Brown biopic, and just obviously his artistry was incredible. We all got to know him in life, and he's awesome. But tell me what that experience was like.
Oh, man. Chadwick was my friend. And yeah, I miss him. It was incredible. It was weird because I was coming from another shoot, and then I had to keep coming back and forth because a lot of what I actually filmed was cut out.
Oh, okay.
And it was really good.
Who directed it?
Tate Taylor.
Yes.
He was great.
Yeah.
So a lot of what we did film got cut out, unfortunately. But that allowed me, myself, and Chadwick, from the moment I got there, he was just such a consummate, he was so professional. And I remember going in and they were watching playback from the day before, and I had to meet him, and I was a little nervous. I'm like, he's playing James Brown, and he's a great actor and all these things. And we just connected right away. And when we started talking about the characters and our relationship, and it was just so passionate and lovely. And then we all went out to eat, and it was just amazing. And I got to spend so much time with him and to really become his friend. And I loved him.
He was a wonderful human.
Wonderful.
I actually got married the day he passed.
Wow.
So literally an hour after I said I do to my wife, which was during COVID. It was a COVID backyard wedding with me, my wife, and a laptop. Yeah. We got news about that, and it was just
devastating.
Everything, you replay everything in your brain the last time you saw him, all these other things, and your phone's blowing up, and it's just
oh my God. I think I screamed.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. But at the core of all of that, it was just this incredible human and artist.
He was a good egg, a good human from a great family.
Yeah. Probably a lot different than your experience with this other guy I've worked with a couple of times from Philadelphia named Kevin Hart. Who I don't know. Who I don't know, actually. I met him once, and someone told him I was from Philly, and then he said, what part? And I told him my suburb, and he's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something. Black man.
Yeah.
And then walked away. That's my only Kevin Hart experience, but he's awesome. What was that like?
Kevin is...
Cube, all of them, but yeah.
He's magnetic, and I see why people are attracted to him, because he's just a genuine human. I mean, he's actually funny in real life. Yeah. Making me laugh the whole time. I think a lot of people know that, but he's just actually a hard worker who likes to have fun, and enjoys what he does and brings a lot of people along with him. Yeah,
you can definitely tell he keeps his people close and lifts them up, which is rare. I find quite often. A fun fact that I didn't know about you was has nothing to do with your career whatsoever. Is like my mom. Yeah, you're an AKA.
I am an AKA.
The pink and the green.
There we go.
That sisterhood is so special.
It is special. And I'm an honorary member. And when they asked me to be part of it, I was pregnant with my daughter, and nobody knew that I was pregnant, really. Right. And I had to go up on this stage at a huge event where they, kind of placed me in the sisterhood. And everybody was like, is she pregnant?
You're like,
and I'm like, so she's kind of an AKA too. She was in my belly, but I remember being surrounded by so many beautiful, ambitious, successful women. Yeah. And I'm like, gosh, Ella, you have to be special. You know what I mean?
That. Yeah. I remember my mom, not to be sad or whatever, my mom was passing. Yeah. Her soror was in LA, which she's a Philly girl. She just met these women over her few months living in LA. Yeah. showed up to her bedside
Wow.
and held hands and just sang and prayed for my mother. And I remember that moment thinking, not in that moment because I was in another place, but I remember thinking back on it later that day being like, God damn, this sisterhood is real. They really step up for each other. It doesn't really matter. And
even if people don't know you in a whole other place, they're like, hey, Sarah, if you need anything, and you're just like, whoa, it's like a link of sisterhood no matter where you are.
It really is. I stop old ladies in pink and green in airports and hug them.
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was Ludacris's mom, I think was an AKA. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we were doing Rhythm and Flow, and I just like hugged her like 9 times.
Oh.
But it's just, anyway, not to go off track, but that's a beautiful thing. So then you do Mixed Dish, and you're in Run the World, and you're in this little franchise called Sonic.
Yeah.
That's like small, right, Sonic?
Just a tiny franchise.
You guys just released the most recent one a few weeks ago?
Yeah, we did it end of December. And it was a whirlwind publicity. It was worldwide, and we went to Brazil and London and just everywhere, and it was incredible.
Who's that? Adam Pally?
That is...
Or James Marsden.
James Marsden, Keanu Reeves, Idris Elba, Jim Carrey.
So a bunch of upstarts.
They're starting up, yeah. And it was Ben Schwartz.
Ben Schwartz is awesome.
Yeah, Ben Schwartz. It was Colleen O'Hagasse. There's just so many incredible human beings that I got to be around and work with, and just be a part of a franchise that crossed the $1 billion mark recently. And that's very rare for, any actor to be part of that kind of thing. So I feel super, super grateful to Paramount, and,
Maybe there'll be a 4th installment.
Maybe.
You never know. You also did a movie last year, or was released last year, I think, with another icon, the DLG.
Oh, Snoop.
Underdogs.
I worked with him on One Life to Live.
What?
I've known him for that long.
He was on a soap?
His grandmother loves soaps, so he grew up watching them. And so anytime he can get on, they used to have, I remember when Carrie baby, she came on with Timberland. They used to do all these music numbers.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and Snoop was one of them. And I remember him being like, they were going to put, no brown girls on stage,
of course,
with him, and he was like, no, she needs to be on stage with me. And it was another girl who needed to be on stage with him. And so from then on, it was like Snoop always looked out, always was like just a rider, and I love him. Like that's my homie.
So what's it like when you guys have chronic sessions together? Are you able to like handle it, or?
You know what? By mistake, I ate his. By mistake, he gave me. Because
you're not that girl.
I'm not that girl.
All. So
I ate these chips he gave me, and I didn't think they would be strong. And then I had my mom eat some, and then we were just a hot mess. So yeah.
I'm not going to say who, but someone I'm friends with.
What?
They ended up on like a yacht.
Oh my God.
And he had let them indulge.
Yeah.
And they had to send a ferry out to the boat to get her off, to get her back to shore.
Yeah, but these are potato chips.
Shit. Edibles don't play.
No, but I didn't know. I was just like, I'm on my lady friends here, and I just want salt.
Yeah. I don't know much about cannabis, but
yeah, sure.
But allegedly edibles are pretty strong.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
We're going to jump into some fun questions in a second, but before we do that, there's another big moment happening for you. Another movie you've developed and are producing and starring in.
Yeah.
And your old friend Tyler Perry has come on board to direct it, which he's never directed something he hasn't written before.
Right.
And you get to do it in Italy.
Yep.
With Whoopi.
Yeah.
Tell me about that journey and that experience to getting that movie made.
Whew. You were part of it, and you loved the script, and I think you brought it to another production company as well as a collaboration. And unfortunately, there were so many different things like the strike and this and that.
She's trying to say we dropped the ball. She's like, y'all didn't get it done.
No. I I never blame anybody. It's hard.
It's hard. We put our best foot forward.
You did your best. You put your best foot forward, and then I was able to get it back, and and then I was like, you know what? Everybody always calls up their friends. Let me call up my friend to see. And I knew the script was good, and he read it, and he was like, I love it. Let me call up these 2 giant streamers to see who wants it. And one of them was like, we'll do it, And
are you allowed to say who the?
Oh, Amazon.
Amazon. Okay.
Amazon decided, we'll do it. And my friend Kim Coutinho was my co-writer. And we got it done. We did the first part of the U.S. part in Atlanta, and now we're going to Italy this year.
I already shot part of it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And our guest next week is a young woman named Brescia Webb.
Oh, and she's playing my sister.
And she's playing your sister.
She's playing my sister, and there's a little bit of singing in there. And
Brescia singing?
Brescia can sing.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Brescia
can sing, but it's like this jazzy, real cool vibe. But like her and our connection is so amazing, and it looks amazing. And the back lot in Atlanta, he built basically a replica of Italy, and it's incredible.
That lot is out of control.
It's out of control. Like literally everyone from hair and makeup to they were like, are you kidding me? This is crazy.
That dude, Tyler Perry, man. I mean, you can like his movies or not like his movies. Some people
it don't matter what you like. He's getting it done.
He's getting it done.
Done. And I'm talking from when I gave it to him to when he asked, and by the time we were in actual production was a matter of months.
I am jealous.
I'm jealous. I'm like, can we keep doing this?
Listen, give me his number.
I know. It was a matter of months.
Because I've got some things.
Why does development have to take this long?
It doesn't if you're Tyler Perry. He's one of the chosen. He's not the chosen one because he earned it.
But he also has his own pipeline. So you're not messing with a bunch of middlemen. Mm-hmm. You're not messing with a bunch of people who are there to be like, I want to touch this and I want to be part of these decisions when you don't really have to be. It's like, make the decisions. And I'm really taking lead on a lot of decisions. And he's like, you make them. You tell me what do you want? And he and it was just like, whoa.
So you're literally the lead producer.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Myself and Angie Bones. But they're like, castings calling me up. I'm in sessions. I'm making decisions about, I'm sending people lookbooks. I was in the throes of it. Now that stuff is all done, right. But like, I really, really did produce. And so I'm super proud of it. And I think it's going to be great.
I'm really proud of you. I'm really happy for you. I know how hard it is to get movies made.
How it goes.
So, but to see someone who sits in your seat as an actor do all these things. And again, the show's called Why Not Me because it's about leaning in to your superpowers, whether you even know they are superpowers or not, just believing in yourself and asking that question. You continue to asking yourself that question, why not me? And choosing yourself and pushing forward. And I think I think it's kind of a unique trait. I think a lot of people have like analysis to paralysis is what I think they call it. They overthink it.
Oh, yeah.
They talk themselves out of it. Like, I don't know what goes on in your head, but there's some voice in there that keeps saying go. And it's really cool to see.
Go. Even if you don't think it's ready or if you don't think, because I always feel like people have gotten things made with half-baked ideas. Mm-hmm. Like you hear the people who are like, oh, I walked in with a page and I didn't really know the ending of this. If they like the idea, they're gonna do it because it's happened to me once. And I had more than a page, but they were like, no, we're buying this. We love it. Just we want to hear what you're thinking at the end.
Right.
But like people buy things with way less than what I know people over prepare and all the things. And nowadays it's a little bit different, right? Yep. Where people are like, we want the script. We want whole package. We want the package together.
Want the budget ready. Like everything.
So I but if somebody is interested, they're going to be down. It's going to get done.
It's just agreed, but it's still a little harder, I think, to tell our stories and get them funded and made. So again, I just think it's pretty impressive what you're doing.
Thank you.
Okay. Favorite pickup line that worked on you?
Favorite pickup line.
Or maybe if it didn't work, but just like a good pickup line.
I don't remember pickup lines. I just remember if people are funny or if they're like, like I'm a flirt. So I'm like, if I catch your eyes and you catch my eyes, and I don't know, it's just like, there's like a banter, or like I don't know. Pickup lines, people don't usually use pickup lines.
No, it's like even dropped in
There's
your
like a
DMs with a cool
sexiness.
line or something. No, it's dropped in your DMs with a cool line, and you're like, that is
No comment.
hysterical.
In
your past, yes.
No, not really. Just like, hey, I'm a fan. I say it when people say I'm a fan, I'm like, oh, thanks.
Okay. Next question.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone on a date with a fan?
Have I ever gone on a date with a fan? Oh, I'm sure I have in New York.
Like knowingly?
Oh, knowingly? No, not knowingly. No, unless they looked me up or like were like, oh, I know you, and it was like, oh, do you? Because I just want to.
We haven't met. You don't know me. You don't know me.
New York was my hangout days.
Okay, I got you. Noted.
Yeah.
I ask this question a lot. A lot of our friends are musical and love listening to music. Most people do. Yeah. So what are you like? Are you listening to like an album right now when you drive? Do you have a playlist that you like to go to? Like, what's your vibe right now musically?
Oh, that's a really good question. What am I listening to? Well, I'm listening to my daughter's Red Descendants.
I'm so tired of these kids things.
But it's so good though.
I don't know about no
really
Red Descendants. Maybe I need to pivot to that.
Red is really good.
Because Bluey's fucking me up.
No, it's actually like the music is like dope. I'm like, I want to be in this kind of show. I'm like acting like the person. Ella's like,
that's what we should develop.
Dude,
kid show.
These shows are so good.
And
this music
banking.
is like jamming.
Yeah.
But I'm like, and my daughter's like, okay.
Slow it down.
She's like, she literally goes, can you stop?
Yeah.
Okay. But what am I listening to? I listen to a lot of 90s right now, to be honest.
Like Jodeci night? Is that 90s Jodeci?
Like Aaliyah.
Okay.
Like
is that why we're wearing the hat?
Like TLC.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
it's like a throwback.
That.
It's a throwback
I don't
look.
know. I like listening to 90s because it's really good music. I mean, I listen to anything that has kind of like, I like chill vibes right now.
Yeah.
I'm just on a chill moment in my life.
I fuck with that.
Yeah.
You've been interviewed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Was there ever a question that you wished you were asked?
You know what? I when people are like, how do you choose a role? I'm like, what do you mean? How do you like? I love when people are like, I love the choices, and I'm like, people are just trying to work.
Yeah, I choose. I'm scrapping.
But when people are like, actors aren't storytellers, I'm like, you might not have to be a storyteller.
Right, exactly.
But a lot of people do, I just feel like, I don't know. I think some of the questions that people ask are very flippant in like assuming that everything's kind of like, how do you, it's like these like questions that as if certain people don't struggle.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But what would be the perfect question? And it's okay if there isn't one.
I don't know if
I'm
there's
totally putting you on the spot.
I don't have a perfect,
that's the point of this.
Yeah, I don't have a perfect question. I wish I'm really terrible with the questions of like, what was the most embarrassing thing that happened on set? I'm like,
shit.
I'm like,
no, I'm kidding.
I don't know. I don't even remember. No, I don't have a perfect question.
That's fair.
You know what? Recently, some interviewers did ask me really good questions, and I can't remember any of them.
Okay. Well, then they weren't as good as me. Being in the public eye,
yeah,
you have to be prepared for criticisms or negative feedback. Mm-hmm. How do you deal with that when it happens? Negative
feedback? I don't know.
Like in the public, like you've been publicly like a bad review or like a bad critique. Maybe that's never happened to you.
It has. Okay. But I guess I'm in the arena fighting. Like, right. I don't have time to like go through every bad thing that I've done or I've tried. It's like, I don't think anything you do is necessarily bad. You try things or you're first getting into something and you just got a job. You're like.
But if someone says you suck publicly, how do you deal with that?
Well, let me see your job. Let me see how good you are.
There you go. Let me see that New York fight. God damn.
Yeah, let me see how good you are. But to me, like fighting back with the air, it's why.
I get that. And normally you just want to ignore the trolls. But
yeah, because you're just like, what? I'm fighting with somebody I don't even know.
Right.
And if you think I'm terrible, just don't watch what I do. That's how I feel. But also I'm like, I'm in the arena like every day trying to get things done. And I just really don't have time to fight with you.
That's fair.
Okay. I pay attention to the people who are with me. right? And even if I did get a bad review, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe I can try something different next time. But
so you build on it.
I build on it.
Okay, that's healthy.
I can take criticism.
Yeah.
You know, and it may hurt, but I'm just like, it is what it is. But I'm still going to get back in the arena.
Okay, I respect that. I love that. What does I have an idea what it's looking like, at least a part of it, but what does your morning routine look like?
A hot mess. My morning routine is, well, lately I've been trying to get up at like at least 7 before my daughter gets up and read a little bit and then have my coffee or my tea and take time for myself, really. That's it.
It's like really just important.
Yeah, like that quiet, that morning, that moment where before like everybody's awake.
Right.
It's just like taking a moment for me. Like I wash my face, just get myself into me. Like have a me moment.
That's important.
Yeah.
My new favorite question is, would you rather have more time or more money?
Can I have both?
It's either or, Tika.
I know. More time or more money? More time to make money.
You and Prentice Penny need to start having a little more time, more money conversation. little group. When your last breath has been taken and it's time to transition, what would you like your tombstone to say?
Tika Sumpter, great mother, great wife, good human.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great mother, great wife, great human. Mm-hmm. I really love that a lot. I think we're going to stop there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
All right.